This is a satellite image of the Three Gorges Dam in Hubei, China. Impounding the Yangtze River, it stands over 100 meters high and 2 kilometers long, creating a reservoir covering 1,000 square kilometers and nearly 40 cubic kilometers in volume. As the world's largest hydropower project, it supplies 20 million people with electricity and assists drought and flood management in the Yangtze Basin. Yet, since construction began in the 1990s, its status as a strategic infrastructure has made it a target for a hypothetical Taiwanese strategy described as chilling, devastating, and cataclysmic. Though not official policy, some military planners in Taipei have suggested that in a conflict scenario with China, an attack on the dam could wipe out the lower Yangtze, destroying vital military and industrial installations and flooding Nanjing, Shanghai, and Wuhan, thereby inducing mutual assured destruction. Sure, Taiwan would be obliterated in retaliation, but it would go down swinging. It's one of the most apocalyptic military strategies of the 21st century. And while most people are not into politics, they are into survival. And when it comes to survival, nothing is contemptible. Taiwan's doomsday plan would be a disaster for all, one that would reach far beyond the Asian continent and into our own lives. Already, disputes in the region have struck at our wallets and savings, like the ongoing chip shortage and soaring supply costs. The Wall Street Journal even reports that slowing exports could cause rippling recessions worldwide. This would be devastating as the S&P 500 is currently being carried by only 7 major companies, without which it hasn't even broken 5%. That's why professionals aren't letting their money sit in just one market. They're pouring billions into assets that may climb even when stocks fall. In fact, I and thousands of our subscribers are already using a platform dealing in these same assets, one that netted investors recent returns of 10, 13, and even 35%. I'm talking about investing with Masterworks, the art investment platform. I've invested with and talked about Masterworks for over a year, and they're up 14 exits now, with everyone returning a profit to users like you. Masterworks has done so well that they've made a waitlist, as paintings can sell out in minutes. But I've been a partner and investor for so long, they're giving you priority access right now at the link below. On October 1st, 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the People's Republic of China in Tiananmen Square. 22 years of civil conflict, interrupted by a war with Japan, culminated in a Communist Party victory on the mainland and the retreat of the Kuomintang forces to Taiwan. Neither side ever abandoned their claims to all of the mainland and Taiwan. But as time moved on, the war settled into a frozen conflict, with the notion of one China forming the bedrock of cross-strait relations. Yet, the practical implications of this policy were anything but clear-cut. The dispute remained one of legitimacy more than territory. In the initial stages of the Cold War, diplomatic recognition corresponded to geopolitical alignment. Over time, though, the Sino-Soviet split and Deng Xiaoping's reform programs saw the mainland's economic and geopolitical relevance increase. And in 1979, Washington settled on an arrangement where official recognition passed to the mainland, while substantial, though semi-official, security guarantees were advanced to Taiwan, which retained its de facto independence. But this left the ultimate question of the island's status unresolved. And in recent years, China's emergence as a great power has brought the issue back to the fore. Strategically speaking, Taiwan is a thorn in Beijing's side and an ace up Washington's sleeve. As such, China seeks to make good on its territorial claims, while Washington maintains a policy of strategic ambiguity regarding the island's defense. Thus, while Washington's commitment to maintaining Taiwan's de facto status is steadfast and a full-scale Chinese invasion is currently unlikely, Taipei wants to leave nothing to chance. An independently operable deterrent is the best way for Taiwan to retain self-rule while lessening reliance on the United States. Ordinarily, this deterrence function could be served by nuclear weapons. But given Taiwan's ambiguous diplomatic status, the acquisition or development of such assets would be perceived as a move towards separatism, which Beijing would translate as an act of war. The ethical basis of this conundrum is dubious, but so is war. By itself, war does not determine who is right, only who is left. This then brings us to one of the world's most destructive war plans of the 21st century, blowing up the Three Gorges Dam. Accordingly, an attack on the Three Gorges could hypothetically meet Taiwan's deterrence objectives without nuclear weapons. In essence, it is a plan to do more with less, ensuring the threat of mutually assured destruction by conventional means. Breaching the Three Gorges Dam would unleash its 600-kilometer-long reservoir into the lower Yangtze, quickly overwhelming downstream flood containment lakes and causing untold damage to its population centers, including Wuhan, Nanjing, and Shanghai. Apart from directly impacting tens of millions of people, in wartime, such an attack would wipe out both the lower Yangtze industrial base, its commercial centers, and 2/3 of China's rice production, potentially impacting up to 400 million Chinese residents. Yeah, this is as insane as it gets. Destroying the Three Gorges Dam could also potentially wipe out 9/10 of the PLA Airborne Division, headquartered at Xiaogan in Hubei. Clearly, Taipei's preference would be to never implement such a plan. Doing so would likely prompt a nuclear response from Beijing, whose 400 nuclear warheads would be more than sufficient to wipe the island off the map. As such, the plan's real merit is not its actual implementation, but the threat of mutually assured destruction. However, reaching this goal means both achieving the means to carry out such a strike and signaling to Beijing a credible threat of doing so. Both prerequisites are complicated by distance. Three Gorges sits at 1,200 kilometers from Taiwan, making it a difficult target for most conventional systems. Dropping a payload via aircraft is also effectively a non-starter due to the resistance Taiwanese planes would meet en route. Cruise missiles may therefore be the best option, and here Taipei is making rapid advances. In response to proliferating Chinese incursions across the median line of its Air Force zone, Taiwan boosted its 5-year military spending by $8.6 billion. And in February 2022, a report to Parliament disclosed Taipei's intention to more than double its annual missile production target to 497 units. That is a lot of firepower, and Taiwan's missile program has some sophisticated assets. The Changfeng 2E is one such asset. The advanced version of the missile is believed to have a range of 1,200 kilometers, putting it just within reach of Three Gorges Dam. Meanwhile, an upgraded Unfang supersonic cruise missile, in development since 2019, has an expected range of 2,000 kilometers, making it a potentially more viable option. But how much firepower is needed to deliver a knockout blow is unknown. Some analysts say that a handful of missiles will do. Others argue that thousands may be needed to ensure sufficient redundancy and account for missiles that either stray off target or are lost to China's air defense. Still others say that anything short of a nuclear blast would be like throwing toothpicks at a mountain. This is because minor ruptures to the dam would be no more damaging than opening a few sluice gates. hardly the earth-shattering blow sufficient to induce a state of mutually assured destruction. Moreover, gravity dams are formidable structures designed to disperse energy throughout the wider edifice, and the segmented design of the Three Gorges also means that damaging one part may be insufficient to compromise the overall structure. So, while most studies suggest that conventional weapons could fatally damage a gravity dam, Taiwan may need to develop cruise missiles with bunker buster capabilities to inflict damage beyond the superficial. China's air defenses is another point of consideration. In addition to a regional missile shield, Beijing hosts numerous anti-air and anti-surface missiles within the dam's vicinity, forming a well-guarded no-fly zone around the dam and its peripheral structures. Even so, the effectiveness of these defenses may wilt in the face of Taiwanese supersonic missiles like the Unfeng, which would be much tougher to intercept. On top of all this, China could simply preempt an attack on the Three Gorges by draining it in advance of an attack on Taiwan. That said, draining the dam preemptively would hand Taipei an advantage by telegraphing its intentions while also disrupting river commerce along the lower Yangtze. Operational considerations aside, threatening the Three Gorges Dam could blow back in other ways. The last time Chinese nationalists breached water containment structures was on the Yellow River in 1938. By doing so, the Kuomintang halted the Japanese advance. But while the plan succeeded strategically, it resulted in roughly 500,000 Chinese deaths through drowning, disease, and famine. In turn, this created fertile ground for Communist Party recruitment, something that came back to bite the nationalists once the civil war resumed. Threatening the Three Gorges would reopen this can of worms and rally Chinese popular support behind unequally destructive countermeasures. Moreover, issuing such a threat could undermine Taiwanese soft power credibility, as under customary international law, attacks on civilian water infrastructure are considered war crimes. Ukraine's allegations against Russia regarding the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam are but the most recent example. Threatening to destroy the Three Gorges Dam could also pose problems should Taipei seek reapproachment with Beijing, something the Kuomintang may attempt should it win the 2024 elections. In that case, diplomatic outreach will likely take precedence, with war preparations falling by the wayside. In sum, an attack on the Three Gorges Dam could provide Taiwan with a non-nuclear version of mutually assured destruction. Yet, it is a weapon that will also destroy the one who wields it. Overall, the strategy is no more insane than regular nuclear deterrence, but perhaps this is not a very high standard. Paradoxically then, the threat is only useful so long as it remains untested, because ultimately, some actions might be worse than a crime. They might be a mistake. I've been your host Shirvan from Caspian Report. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Doing so helps our channel beat the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching, and Sahol.